Welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, July 4, 2019. I am Rochelle Baptiste with the details. St. Vincent and the Grenadines on Monday, July 1st, assume its role of Chair of the Caribbean Forum of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Cariforum for 1 year. Within the period chairmanship, it is expected that St. Vincent and the Grenadines will host 2 ministerial meetings and senior official meetings on various thematic areas. The chairmanship role rotates annually in alphabetical order between the Cariforum member states, which comprises of Antigua, the Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Cuba, Dominica, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, Guyana, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. The Caribbean Forum of African, Caribbean, and Pacific States Cariforum were established to manage and coordinate relations between the Caribbean states, which are signatory of the Lomé New Cotonou Agreement. Its remit includes programming and managing implementation of regional resources made available to the Caribbean region by the EU, managing Cariforum EU political dialogue, promoting intra-Cariforum cooperation, as well as promoting Cariforum relations with British, Dutch, and French overseas countries, territories, departments, and collectivities in the Caribbean. On Tuesday, July 2nd, Director General of Cariforum, Percival Marie, held a meeting with Acting Prime Minister and Minister of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Commerce Louis Straker and other senior officials in the ministry to provide a brief on SVG's role as chairmanship of Cariforum. The Director General also met with senior officials from other key line ministries within the government service of SVG. St. Lucia's Prime Minister and Chairman of CARICOM, Alan Chasney, yesterday called on all CARICOM member states to give support to St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure its successful tenure as a non-permanent member on the United Nations Security Council. Chasney was at the time addressing the opening ceremony of the 40th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM in St. Lucia. Chasney said SVG's accomplishment as the smallest island state to assume a non-permanent seat on the council should be celebrated region-wide, and reiterated his country's support to SVG.
Can be achieved once there is a firm resolve. All of CARICOM rejoices in this triumph, recognizing that this is a golden opportunity for St. Vincent and the Grenadines to take on board the calls for reforms at the UN body. When St. Lucia was elected President of the UN General Assembly in 2003, we received invaluable support from other CARICOM countries in maintaining that office. Understanding the importance of this new development, St. Lucia has pledged a contribution to St. Vincent and the Grenadines in maintaining and funding the office. I am sure my colleague Prime Minister will not mind me saying that although this seat was won by St. Vincent, it is also a CARICOM success, and we are behind you 100%. Hence, I call on all members to also pledge their support to St. Vincent in maintaining this office and ensuring a successful tenure.
Small island states such as St. Vincent and the Grenadines face many challenges. One of them is the constant threat of blacklisting if they do not comply with the EU's requirements relating to taxation. This is an issue which both the ruling Unity Labour Party and the opposition New Democratic Party shared a unified opinion on, as they believe the EU has been overstepping its boundaries in dealing with the matter. The CARICOM chairman said there must also be a unified approach among CARICOM countries on this important issue.
On the issue of blacklisting, to date, CARICOM countries on the list have been trying to comply with requirements of the EU Code of Conduct group. The fact is that the EU has been targeting us as individual countries, and we as CARICOM missed the initial opportunity to respond jointly. But it's not too late. The question now is, how do we as developing countries meet the requirements of a just tax regime while maintaining our fiscal sovereignty? We must, as a region, be committed to a high standard of governance, but this cannot cross the line and infringe on our competitiveness. As a region, we should rebel against the use of a blacklist that permanently damages our reputation. There is absolutely no justification for this methodology.
Climate change continues to be a threat to the development of countries like SVG and has led to the loss of life and productivity here and elsewhere in the region. Prime Minister Chastney called on all Cariforum countries to support the creation of a resilience foundation which can quickly provide funding for resilient projects to assist member states in times of need.
The last two have taught us, however, that countries that are the greatest emitters and the cause of our current plight are not sufficiently willing to compensate us for the damage that is being done. Despite our best efforts, we have deliberately not amended international economic protocols to even allow us to make the necessary investments in building our own resilience. We have to urgently look for more immediate and innovative ways to solve our problems. I look forward to presenting in more detail the plans for the creation of our own Resilience Foundation and to seek the support and endorsement of CARICOM during our deliberations this week. We also need a new governance structure that will allow us to draw down on the funds more quickly. We can't take 5 years to implement these resilience projects. We remain grateful to the Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, for his efforts to assist us, the SIDS, in that regard.
In other news, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has deemed his recent 18-day overseas trip, which involved an official visit to the Seychelles, a success. The Prime Minister is currently in St. Lucia, attending the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting. Speaking of his overseas travels on WeFM yesterday, PM Gonsalves said he was in Italy, the United Kingdom, and in the Seychelles. In Italy, he met with the former consulate to SVG, and in the UK, he met with politicians and investors.
There are many issues which I had to talk to him about that. And then I met the owner of Amman Resorts. Well, you probably are aware that Amman Resorts is one of the top 5 resorts in the world. And I wanted to discuss with the gentleman himself who owned Amman, and to talk to him about his proposed investment in Canawan and the relationship between him and Mr. Pinataro.
As it relates to the investors, the Prime Minister reported that if all goes as planned, 2 more resorts will be built in SVG by early next year.
And it looks as though that investment is going to get going. All things being equal, by the end of the first quarter of next year. There's some preliminary things which have to be done. But if that happens, we're going to have in Canawan 2 of the top 5 resorts in the world, Mandarin Oriental and Amman. And that's where they want to build a Soho House, which is also one of the top brands in the world. And they themselves are hoping to get going by early next year.
PM Gonsalves also stated that known investors have indicated an interest in SVG's medical cannabis industry, which is another positive for the country.
A company in the United Kingdom, which has been licensed in the United Kingdom for medical cannabis, and which is interested in doing work in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They had come down before, and they want to explore in more up-to-date detail what they want to do. And in this particular case, they want to deal with not just growing, but very importantly, matters of production. in terms of pharmaceutical derivatives.
Good.
Come the new school year, students of the Sion Hill Government School will be in a more comfortable learning environment with repairs being done at the school. Part of the repair work was carried out by the Arnesville Methodist Church and Braxa, which was completed and was handed over today to principal of the school, Verona Richards. The first phase of the work includes repairs to the bathroom facilities and the exterior of the building. The principal, Ms. Richards, said that the school was in dire need of repairs and is grateful for the collaborative work by the Methodist Church and Braxa.
Were in deplorable conditions, with water always on the floor, toilets not flushing, pipes not working, and everything seemed to be contrary. Today we can boast of a new facility, and I say new because when you look at it, you would not believe it's a refurbished facility.
The Ministry of Education worked closely with Braxa on the project, and Education Officer Joseph Green said additional work will be carried out during the summer holidays and will be completed in time before school reopens in September.
So take care of it. Your brother and sister is coming behind you. They will need to meet something good. So let us take care of what we have been given today. And as Mr. Llewellyn told you, during this, when you go home, some work will be done on the inside of the school. So when you come back to school in September, you're coming to meet something even more beautiful than what you left now.
One of Braxa's supervisor, Colvin Llewellyn, pleaded with the students to take very good care of the facilities, noting that maintenance is costly.
School is also very expensive, so the works that we do now, that cost some money, but to keep the school throughout the year, and you guys play a pivotal role in that. You guys have to ensure that you guys keep the surroundings clean, take care of the bathrooms, use it the way they were meant to use, and don't damage them. Try and keep the vandalism to a minimum. So don't write on the desks, don't damage the furniture, don't throw things in the toilets, keep the sinks clear, keep the yard clear, don't scrape the paint, don't try and mark up, do all these things.
Welcome to Carnival Beat this evening. Capital Kingston is expected to be buzzing with activities this weekend up until Wednesday as revelers take part in the last 5 days of activities for Vincy Mass 2019. With this in mind, members of the traffic department of the RSVG police force will be out in their numbers to ensure the smooth flow of traffic in and out of Kingston and the safety of all road users. Speaking with our news team via the telephone, Sergeant Kenny Jones of the Traffic Branch said they will be performing their duties to assist motorists and pedestrians get from one point to the next hassle-free. He said as usual there will be additional parking space at the grammar school playing field.
Officers will be placed in strategic areas to assist motorists who will be traveling to Kingston to get to their destination without any sort of hindrance. As we know, on Monday and Tuesday, those carnival days at the grammar school playing field, the playing field again is made available for the use of adequate security arrangement in place, and also there is an area that is allocated for persons who would be traveling to Kingston to park their vehicles. That area is also well lit, and persons don't have anything to worry about in respect of the security of their vehicle. Well, there will be a heavy presence of officers on the road, as we know during the carnival season. Yes, officers will be out performing their regular duties, and we're asking the public to cooperate with the police, because the police duty is to ensure that safety.
And for those who will partake in the consumption of alcohol, Sergeant Jones warned against drinking and driving.
Well, that is a concern that the traffic department has over during the festive season, which is the Carnival season. And we just want to reiterate the fact that driving under the influence of alcohol, that's a drink or drug, it's an arrestable offense, and you can be fined a maximum penalty of $1,500 and imprisonment. It's fine and confined, so you could be fined and be imprisoned for 6 months. On a repeated offense of that nature, you could be fined a maximum of $2,500 and imprisonment for 1 year for that offense. So we just want to remind persons that if they have to drink, to designate a driver who will not be consuming alcohol to drive that vehicle safely along our roads.
Sergeant Jones took the opportunity to highlight the route motorists can take to get to the leeward side from Kingston during the busy time.
We know persons will be traveling to Kingston trying to get to the leeward side of the island. They would traverse along the Richmond Hill Public Road, and they would make a left turn onto Granby Street. That is going across to the BMC agency building, where they would make a right onto Sharp Street, and they would make another right along the Middle Street. They would traverse the entire Middle Street all the way down to Queen Street, that is down to Rose Place, where they would exit at the hospital, and they would make a left to the road to Edinburgh and enter the cemetery, which would be open. Where they exit at the cemetery, they could also make a right onto the Nelson Mandela Highway, that's in the area of Massey, and then traverse the leeward side.
The police sergeant is also urging motorists to exercise caution on the roads due to the inclement weather condition. A release from the SVG Met office indicates that the country expects to receive significant rainfall and appeal to persons to pay attention to their bulletins. Sergeant Jones shares some crucial advice with motorists.
Well, we know when the road is wet, it makes it much more dangerous for motorists to see where they are going and to drive on our roads. So we're just advising our motorists to be cautious while traveling in this weather. Most times when the rain is coming, we advise persons to turn their headlamps on, and the reason for this is that they could be seen easily by that oncoming vehicle. So we're just advising motorists to be cautious in this rainy season and to just be considerate to each other while using the road.
Delroy Fireman Hooper will be defending his crown in the Power Soca category of the National Rag and Soca Monarch competition, the most anticipated on the Carnival calendar of activities to be held this Saturday night at Carnival City, Victoria Park. He will be facing off with 10 other competitors. Our news team recently took to the streets of capital Kingston to hear the views of the people on who they believe will take the coveted title, and for most, they are certain that Fireman will retain the crown.
Let me show you. What you guys win Soca Monarch? That's my artist right there. That's my artist. Soca Monarch, that's the champion. You understand? The Power Soca, that he.
Might be Fireman or Skinny.
Well, Soca Monarch, Soca Monarch no high own already, you know what I mean? There's Fireman who already. So let's see. You understand, but still they can't really judge the young youths and them, you know. You understand me?
Fireman and Luther have a good tune, yeah.
Alright. But still Fireman have 3 deadly tunes, trust me. Yeah man, and me feel Fireman will walk it over easy.
Well, right now the competition is very, very, very tough, but whoever wins, congratulations to them.
How to deal with Fireman. Them kind of show they like, I always backfire.
In the Raga category, Fimba Jardine is expected to face tough competition from a field of 9 competitors. Reigning Calypso Monarch Zamfe Manzangi Adams is confident of retaining his crown in the National Calypso competition to be held on Sunday night or Dimanche Gras at the Victoria Park. In an interview with SVG-TV News, Manzangi said that he has been doing everything to prepare himself for the competition, including taking some extra dance and drama lessons. He said on the night of the competition, he will be going in with an open mind, not as a competitor, but as an entertainer, but still will push as hard as he can to win the crown for a 50th year. Adams said of his 2 songs for the Calypso competition, one is about political commentaries dubbed First Priority, and the other, Born for This, is letting his competitors know he was destined to be the national Calypso monarch.
2 songs. The first one that I will be performing is the First Priority, and that song is basically the critics that chose that topic. The 2 topics that I'll be singing, and I did not choose them. It was the first one was the critics. They stated that Zangi don't sing political commentary, and because he knows political commentary don't win Carnival and all kind of stories. So I said to myself, well, okay, well, if you want me to step my foot into political commentary, well, then I'm going to do that. And so then I choose that topic. Well, they chose that topic for me. So person to expect the topic focus on first priority must be the people. So as politicians, when you go there, you speak about the people, but don't change your mind after you gain governance and do something different. And so you're urging person as elections around the corner that you as the people, we as the people, I should say, must remember the reason for voting for that individual if they're focusing on us.
Manzangi is encouraging the youths of SVG to never give up on their dreams or allow anyone to stop them from doing whatever they love.
Well, young people, and I want them to use this as one of the storylines for them in their development, is that anytime challenges arises, whether it is school and you have your CXP or your CPA, do make those challenges deter you from accomplishing what you want. If you know you're doing CP and you want to pass to go to grammar girls high school, you know you have to study hard, you know you have to do that. When persons try to, pull you down and say you can't do this and you can't do that, you always use that negativity and turn it into positive motivation to motivate you to excel and show them that you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to.
The reigning Calypso monarch used the opportunity to invite all Vincentians to come out and enjoy the National Calypso competition on Dimash Grand Night this Sunday at the Victoria Park.
I'm urging Vincentians to come out on the 7th, which is this Sunday, at Dimash Grand. You're going to see a production from Zangi that, every year I come with a twist towards it. I'm asking person, it's a fun time, it's something, it's jokifying, it's something for you to jump, wave, and celebrate along with me. So I urge you to walk with your rags and your flags, and let's just have a party and come out and support the others, other competitors, because I know how hard everybody have worked to really be in the top. So that is what I urge everyone. Please don't miss it, because you're gonna miss something that you should have been there to experience, to be a part of the celebration.